Welcome aboard the cruising show here on Northern Viking Explorer. If you're new here, my name is Ken.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to be sharing our likes and wishes with you of our recent Caribbean cruise on the Carnival Vista. We had an amazing cruise. We're going to go over 4 main categories with you today. Basically, a review of the ship. So we're going to talk about the ship layout and the amenities, our stateroom, the food and restaurants, as well as the entertainment and activities.
Now, we haven't totally shared with each other the things that we loved and our wishes that we have, but I have one thing that doesn't fit into the category.
Okay, what's that?
The return of the printed fun times.
I agree. I love that these are back and they are amazing. You love looking through them.
I do, and I like to bring them home to reflect and remember what was that we saw or trying to remember the details of our trip. They're a nice little memento that's small to take home.
For sure. So let's go ahead and dive right into our likes and wishes of the Carnival Vista.
Let's talk about our thoughts about the layout and the amenities on the Carnival Vista.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to go first.
All right.
I really like the layout of the ship. I find it simple to navigate, and it's kind of what you expect of a cruise ship layout. It follows the typical pattern.
I would agree.
Yeah. I'll explain. Like the first two layers, the first 2 floors are cabins, and then you have about 3 floors of restaurants, the theater, shopping.
The atrium's in that area.
That's right. And then you go into
the casino.
Yep. And then you go into a section of cabins again until you get to the Lido deck.
Yes.
And that's where then you find the buffet and the pools and all the kind of entertainment up from there.
Okay, yeah. The Serenity's up higher and all the spa and everything's in that area. Yeah, I would agree. It is quite simple to navigate. Easier than other ships I've been on.
Plus, there's one bonus that we have.
Okay, what's that?
We've been on the Panorama, which is the sister ship.
That's true. That helps. If you've been on the sister ship, it definitely helps navigating. I felt like when we stepped on the Vista, I felt like I stepped on the Panorama. A few things are different, but I already knew my way around as soon as we stepped on the ship. Especially since it was the cruise right before that we were on the Panorama.
And there's definitely things that I liked more about the layout on the Vista.
Than the Panorama?
Yeah.
Well, I'll explain because I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, the shopping.
Oh, okay. Well, that's on my list, actually.
Is it? Okay, I won't take it from you.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay,
if you're going to bring
okay.
that up, I don't mind.
Okay, well, I felt like on the Panorama, it was a bunch of small, tiny shops.
Especially for the Carnival shops.
Yes.
There was like 3 or 4 different tiny Carnival shops.
And so I felt a little intimidated because it felt like a small like kiosk type shops. And where on the Vista, which is older than the Panorama, it actually has a bigger, one bigger area to shop through, which
for
felt
kind
more
of
comfortable.
The souvenir shop, the Carnival store type of thing. You're not talking about like the jewelry stores.
No,
Effie
that's true. Yeah. I'm talking about the Carnival logo type stuff. Yes.
So I would agree, and that's actually on my list. So
I'm sorry, I stole that.
No, that's okay. I that's one thing I didn't actually love about the Panorama, and that was definitely a lot better on here. I'm gonna point out one. I really like the funnel in the middle of the atrium as well. It's really cool. It comes out of the bar. There's a funnel that comes up. It's actually a screen, and they change what's on the screen throughout the week. So the colors, even when there was like Dr. Seuss stuff going on, it would change to Dr. Seuss logos. I think that's really cool.
It was cool. It really helped change the mood for what was going on for the different activities.
Do you have more? I have a whole bunch of things I like.
Okay, well, I'll continue on the same kind of theme then. I like the size of ship.
Yeah, I would say so too. We were on one ship once where I felt like we walked 1,000,000 miles to get everywhere. This, you felt like you were closer to everything.
Yeah, and still big enough that it has lots of amenities though. But not huge that you're kind of lost. I don't know if I've ever felt lost on a cruise ship, but it felt right.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I have a couple cool places can I go through a couple different places
Please
that I
do.
think were really neat. The Red Frog Pub on on the Vista is really neat. It's so on the Panorama, it's the guys picking an anchor in that location. On the Vista, it's the Red Frog Pub, but it's got a really neat, how would you say it, decor to it. There's kind of wine barrels for some of the tables. There's Jenga on some of those. If you kind of walk back around the corner, there's a shuffleboard table and foosball tables back there. So it's got a really kind of neat vibe to it. If you're looking for a fun place to hang out, I thought that was really cool. And I know the one night we went out and hung out in the Havana bar. I love the
Yeah.
ambiance and the way that's set up. The music was great in there. But just the ambiance, the colors
are amazing in
yeah.
there.
So those two are really neat places on the ship.
So you kind of stole one of my likes.
Okay.
A little bit. I liked how the ship is decorated in that each restaurant and area has its own theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really well decorated to the theme. Like
Yeah.
the Red Frog, it has a very like fishing almost type thing, like where there are nets and that like wine barrels and wood.
Okay. Yeah.
Am I right?
I don't want to say fishing, but definitely
Okay, I felt like it was like fishing to me.
the wine a little bit more rustic, maybe I would say, but yeah.
Yeah, but as you went, like then when you stepped into the Havana area, it was a completely different atmosphere.
Very Cuban style in there, and yeah. Honestly, I felt really jealous going in there.
Okay, explain.
Well, because looking down off the back of the ship, I see the Havana pools and hot tubs, and there's not very many people out there at all. And we weren't allowed to hang out by the
We weren't in a
Havana pool, and
but you can go into the Havana bar. Mm-hmm. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of that. But the pool and hot tub in the Havana area are just for those staying in the Havana.
I may have snuck out to the Havana pool and hot tubs as soon as we got on the ship and got some video footage of it, but we weren't allowed to really go out there when it was open to after that. So beautiful place. I really enjoy that. The Havana bar area. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, do you have more, or I have quite a few.
Okay, cool. Do another one.
So I did want to mention the library bar. It's a nice spot on the ship. Actually, when we got on, they were set up for a wedding in there, but I think it's a quieter place if you're looking to grab some books or games. That is available on there. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the Cherry on Top candy shop is a really large candy shop on the ship, and they had quite a large ice cream parlor in there. We didn't try it.
That's true. Yeah.
But I don't recall them having the ice cream parlor on the Panorama. I could be wrong. But
or
there was
somewhere else.
I don't remember. So it was, you did have to pay for that ice cream parlor, but it was just a really neat spot.
So I have something that I like about this ship. I love deck 9 and 10. How you can go on top of the bridge at the front of the ship. Did I take one of yours?
You did take one of mine, but I expanded on that.
Oh, okay. Why not me then? Please explain.
Deck 6 and 7 at the front of the ship, you can go out there as well. And 9 and 10.
Yes.
So they're at the front of the ship on deck 6, 7, 9, and 10. You can go out. You have to walk past all the cabins. You can go outside. It's actually one of my favorite spots on this class of ship. There's some benches out there. Great views. You can walk on top of the bridge on deck 9. Mm-hmm. And
it's usually quiet.
It's usually really quiet out there.
Very few people out there. The last day we were on there, though, there wasn't a lot of wind.
No.
It was hot. I was surprised. Really hot. So
I would agree. I'm looking at my list here. I have a few more.
Okay.
The gym is really nice.
Yes.
They have really good quality equipment in the gym. It's Life Fitness, I believe. It seemed like the equipment was in really good shape.
Yeah.
And
had a good view too.
Had great views in there.
It was at the front of the ship.
And the hours on our sailing were 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I know one of our wishes on the Carnival Panorama on our sailing on there, it was 7 a.m. to 8:30. So the hours are actually an hour and a half longer.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Really big deal.
So from 6 in the morning to 7 in the morning. Not that I'm up at 6 to go to the gym on the cruise ship, but for some people it is a big deal. And I don't know if they've changed the time on the Panorama, but that's just from our sailing. So that I thought was good that they expanded the hours there. So this one, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've been thinking about this, and I actually had someone comment on one of our videos today asking about this on the Vista. They were wondering about the elevators and whether they have the same system as the Panorama. So the Vista is your typical elevators where you push the button for the floor in the elevator, whereas the Panorama had the one where you have to push it in the hallway and then it tells you which elevator to go through or go to. At first I didn't like that system on the Panorama, but I grew to like it. And
I think when you're on the Vista, you realized why that system was superior.
I would agree. I felt like I waited for the elevators a lot more on the Vista than the Panorama. When I first got on the Panorama, I didn't like that system, but as I learned it, it seemed to work really well. And when we got on the Vista, I was like, hey, the elevators aren't...
You stop at every floor.
Yeah, so I think I really appreciated that. So that's, I guess, would be a wish that it had the Panorama elevator system. And you might not agree with me.
That was a mix.
We've got a mixed bag of people of what people think on that.
You know, it actually works really well if it's just one or two people getting on the system on the Panorama, but you have to redo it for each person getting on the elevator. So if you're traveling with 10 people, then I would say it's not great.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Do you have any more? I've you already mentioned I like the colors and the decor, and you'd already mentioned that.
Yeah.
I had one more, laundry facilities on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice that they have that on several of the floors. There's usually maybe 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 laundry machines, washers and dryers.
I had to sneeze.
All right, we're back. You're good?
I'm good now. Thank you. I tried really hard not to sneeze, but...
Awesome. So we're talking about the laundry room. It's just convenient that they have multiple of them throughout the ship. Not all cruise lines have that, and it definitely makes a difference if you spill something on your shirt or you do need to do some laundry while on the ship. So, yeah. Do you have more?
No, I really like the Vista layout and the amenities they have, so I think we can get into the wishes.
All right. I always hate saying bad things about ships.
Yes.
I don't want to say they're bad things, but I wish they had. First off, I find the atrium area a little underwhelming.
That's my first one too.
That's my first one. So I do love the funnel. I know I already talked about that, but we've been on other ships where that's the atrium area or whatever they call it on other ships is a very central hub that you would go hang out. And the only really place to hang out there is if you're at the bar on the bottom of the atrium.
I agree, and I feel exactly the same way. I do enjoy when there's even small finger food type things that you can have. You can sit and listen to music, watch people walk through, and people watch. I like to people watch. So yeah. It's, they do have a small stage attached to the staircase. So there is often live music, but I just wish there was a little more seating.
That wasn't in the bar, kind of, yeah.
There is some, but I just wish it was a little bit more.
Yeah, I would agree. Even if it was kind of bar seating along the glass or something.
That would be nice, yeah.
So, what's your, do you have any more? Or?
Yeah, I do. You probably have this one. Hot tubs.
I do. Hot tubs are one of my things that I find frustrating.
Ships have gotten bigger and bigger, and I feel like they don't add more hot tubs to accommodate the more people.
Yeah. I have 2 things to say about the hot tubs. One, I was surprised that there isn't a hot tub or hot tubs right by the main pool.
Okay, yes.
Now I've lost, in my mind has gone blank on what that pool is called.
The beach.
The beach pool. And then I don't like, the only hot tubs that are open late are the ones at the aft of the ship at the Tides pool. There's 2 of them there. They're open till midnight. But I think most of the other ones close by around 10 o'clock. So that last couple hours, can be almost impossible to get into the hot tub. And I just wish that they'd keep the Serenity ones open later.
I do too. Especially if you're hoping for a quiet hot tub, because then all the families have no place to go either for the hot tub. So it becomes, Space for children, teens, everybody is
Yeah.
back there at once. So
Yeah.
you don't
So-
get that quiet evening soak.
Yeah, I always find that frustrating when you go to get ready, go to the hot tub, and they're packed and you can't even get in. So,
It's true. It's true.
so another couple things I have is on the sea days, our sailing was cram packed. I think it was pretty much full, and on the sea days, it was almost impossible to find a place to sit.
And I know people say, no, you can find somewhere to sit. We walked the whole Serenity deck. Then we went down and walked around all the pools.
Yes.
We went floor by floor.
And finally, someone had just left, and it was, you couldn't see the water or anything. It was kind of half in the shade. But yeah, I wish there was just a little bit more seating.
Yeah, especially
So-
for those full days. You know, the next day there was no problem. I think it was just.
But we
peak
also
time.
went later in the day the next day. So
true.
I don't know what it would have been at the same time. That kind of noon to 1 mark gets really busy for sure. Nobody's sunburnt yet.
No, maybe that's why everybody was hiding the second day.
Do you have more?
Yeah, actually, I do. I'm probably taking this one from you.
Okay. I know we've talked about a lot of this
We
before
have,
we do our notes.
of
so-
course, because we talk all the time, but we haven't compared our lists. But I love a traditional theater,
Yeah, this is on my list. I know what you're going to say.
and this is not a traditional theater. I like the elegance of a traditional theater. I like how you can see better. This is probably one of the poorest sight lines.
It's
for
the
a
worst theater I've ever been on a ship. That and the panorama, it's the same thing.
You get
And
up.
I feel bad saying that, but it's by far the worst theater on any ship we've been on.
I understand why they did it. They made it a multi-purpose type facility. They can move stages. They can hold the dances in there. But when you're trying to find a seat, you sit down and you go, oh, there's a post in the way. So you stand up and you move over. You still can't see. Like we go from seat to seat.
There's lots of posts. The angles are weird. There's the seats on the floor. They're removable. So the main floor isn't really sloped. So even if you're sitting down there, it's hard to see over people's heads. I would agree. And that's in the liquid lounge.
Yes, and some of the seating is unique, which makes it also not very efficient in how many people they can fit.
I would agree. So there are good seats in there. I will say that.
Yeah.
But if you want a good seat, you better be standing there before the doors open and trying to rush to a seat. So, I would agree. Yeah.
I agree.
Other than that, I don't have too much. I don't love our dog's barking. I don't love the location of the gym that it's inside the
spa.
The spa. I feel like you have to walk through the spa to get in there. But the once you get past that, the gym is really nice. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's all on my list. How
That's
about you?
all on my list. Overall, I love the layout of the ship.
Yeah, so that was the ship layout and amenities on the Carnival Vista. So let's jump into our thoughts on our cabin on the Carnival Vista. We were in a Cove balcony cabin on deck 2, cabin 2276.
So if you're not familiar with the Cove balcony, we're on the second deck, and you're really close to the water.
I liked how close we were to the water.
Like,
It was cool.
and one cool thing about that is literally cool. You
Okay.
can feel the mist from the waves. So we were close to the front of the ship.
Yeah,
And so when those waves break against is it called the bow?
I guess.
I don't know, maybe you can let me know. The waves would crash, but then the mist kind of floats and it goes past your balcony.
That was more when it was stormy or wavy.
That's true. Yeah.
There was definitely signs of the salt that had gotten on the balcony because around the door. That must be hard
crusty.
to keep clean, because of the salt kind of crystallizes there. But yeah, it was really neat being that close to the water. The lifeboats were above us, so they gave actually quite a bit of shade, which was nice.
Yeah.
And it was you're in kind of a metal, I don't know, oval kind of window, which is quite large. And this is our first time in a cove, and I actually quite enjoyed the cabin. Maybe not so much deck 2. It was a little bit further to walk to the pools and the kind of restaurants, but despite the distance to that, it was a nice cabin.
Yeah, it was, because it's metal, it feels more private.
Mm-hmm.
It does limit a little bit of the view, though, looking out, because it is kind of a rounded opening. It's not the same as
not a lot, but there was a little bit for sure. So.
Another thing, though, I really liked about this is when it was really hot, besides the mist, it was definitely cooler than being up on the Lido deck.
Yes, and I think I'd already mentioned that I found it cooler because the lifeboats were above us, and it kind of cast a shadow, which was nice.
But I think being closer to the water too, it was really comfortable, especially if you're going on a hotter cruise.
Yes, I would agree. In the cabin itself, I have a whole bunch. Can I just list a whole bunch of things I liked?
Yeah.
So the main cabinets, there was lots of hangers. There was kind of like 3 large cabinets. There was a mirror inside the cabinet. There was a
full length.
Yeah. A little mini fridge in there. It doesn't get super cold. It's more designed to keep your beverages cool.
A cooler.
And then there was also a nice TV in there as well with lots of free movies.
Yes. I don't think the movie selection changes a whole lot, though, because when we were on the Panorama,
and even the Mardi Gras,
it was the same movies.
A lot of them. Then it changed slightly, but a lot of the same ones. Because there was one we would joke about with our son, and it was still on there. So
yeah, he teased us for watching it. So,
but it's a decent sized TV and
a decent sized room too. I really appreciate that there's the couch or sofa in there.
I have that on my list.
It just gives a lot more space, and especially if you're getting ready, putting on socks or whatever, you can space out a little bit more, which was nice.
The bedding is nice.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna have to bring up the mattress in a moment, but the bedding, the blankets, the pillows were nice.
Yes, I'd agree.
You would agree?
I've had nicer.
Yeah.
But they were good.
One thing I just want to jump back to the TV. There was lots of movies, but we've been on other cruise lines that are even owned by Carnival, and they had a lot more on demand comedies,
which you like,
I like, and maybe that should probably go on my wish later. But
yeah,
I like just popping on a comedy and not having to commit to a whole movie, and so I would love to see a whole selection of on demand comedies on there,
especially if you can binge one show that you really like.
Yeah, so I just kind of thought of that.
Yeah.
Because it's not on my list here. The temperature control for air conditioning. So we were in the Caribbean. It was hot, and it kept our room nice and cool.
We were never hot in our cabin.
No.
It was perfect.
Yeah. So I like that. The water pressure in the shower was nice.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't feel like
That's true.
I didn't have to stand there for half an hour trying to wash the soap out of my hair. The block-out curtains keep almost all of the light out. You'll see a little bit coming around the edge, but
it was nice.
It was nice and dark. And we'd already talked about this, but it was really nice being that close to the water. So I had quite a bit of things that I thought about the cabin. I do have some wishes, but I think do you have any more
one thing we didn't say was the vanity mirror in the bathroom. They have the round one that pulls out.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can use for shaving or makeup or whatever. Which, that's not on all cruise ships.
No.
So that was a nice extra.
Yeah.
And they had some...
There's the hairdryer in the drawer. Is it powerful enough? Or
the hairdryer, that's a hit or miss depending who you are. For me, it would be enough, but it's not a very strong one. And it is the kind that you have to hold the button down to power. So it's kind of... It's fine.
It's fine. Adequate?
It's fine. It's adequate.
Yeah.
But if you have really thick hair, you might be really frustrated.
I do want to mention, so there's, in our cabin, 2 USB ports, 2 regular 120s, and 1 European plug for the plugs that we could see anyway.
At the vanity.
Yeah, at the vanity.
Yeah.
They were all at the vanity. That will be a wish as well. So, do you have any other likes? There's There's lots to like. I like
There's
the
lots
colors
of like,
too.
and it's, it feels open and clean and large. I was happy.
I like the beach vibe kind of look in there.
I even like because there's a window as well. I'd hoped to be in a cabin that had, and I knew this when we booked it, but I like the idea of having the sliding glass door. Mm-hmm. But it's actually like would you call it a man door?
It's a man door, yeah.
To go out onto the balcony. But the one advantage to that is you have a nice window, and the window has a really nice ledge in it. Which
That's
is
true.
kind of
You could have
cool,
actually have sat on it if you wanted.
Yeah,
or,
it's kind of a cool little space.
I kind of kept some of our stuff there.
Yeah, so. Yeah. So that's a perk. Mm-hmm. No, that's yeah. There's lots to like.
There's lots to like.
That's.
Yeah. I do have some wishes.
Okay, I know.
I want to start out with the lack of plugs beside the bed. There's no USB port. There's no regular plug. I don't know if you dug around behind the couch or under the bed if there's anything, but nothing that we could see.
That's right.
So, you agree. I know you. I like to charge my phone beside the bed or use it as an alarm clock, and I might be on it in the evening. I don't want to have to get up and go plug it in, and then so.
I like
the
at
lazy
least a
side of me.
USB plug next to the bed. So that was missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? What do you have? I'm sure you have a few.
Well, you know what? I said the mist was nice, and I would say like most of the time it was nice, but sometimes I didn't appreciate the mist.
Well, probably after you did your hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
you had problems with all the humidity in your hair.
I couldn't learn. I would curl my hair and go out on the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if you were, I'm just thinking if you were to take this on a cooler, it might be too cold. Like if you had rainy weather.
If it was a cooler cruise, maybe a different time of year, yeah.
What I would probably book next time if I was doing a Cove is I'd like to try it next or more to the aft of the ship.
Okay.
So that, because I felt like a lot of the mist came from the front.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we were kind of going through the big waves, some of the waves were actually splashing all the way up to the lifeboats above us.
It was cool. It was cool. Really cool to watch. The other thing is I was wondering if the visibility is better at the aft. I'm curious. So if you've been at the aft on the Cove, maybe you know, because when we were up on deck 10 on the panorama, it was really easy to see the wildlife in the water.
Yeah.
But because
it's a different angle.
And the break of the waves, I couldn't see through the waves down.
Yeah. When
it was wavy. So I'm curious if you're at the back, if you have better visibility. Mm-hmm. Do you think?
Yeah. It's hard to say. I don't know.
We haven't stayed in one at the back. We got to cruise again.
Yes. I wish there were more hooks in the room. There's 3 behind the door and 1 behind the door in the washroom and 1 by the washroom. So we actually just ordered some magnetic hooks to bring with next time.
I agree.
I used my magnetic GoPro mount as a hook, but then I forgot one of those on the panorama. So
yeah, somebody else. Somebody
else has my GoPro mount, but yeah, it's okay. Shower curtain.
That's not your favorite.
That's not my favorite.
I like the glass better too.
Yeah. No conditioner.
But that's kind of common, actually.
It is, but I'm always surprised.
Yeah. So there is shampoo and there is body wash, but no conditioner. So.
Yeah. Any others? I have one kind of bigger one.
I think I might know. So why don't you go ahead and say?
Well, I'd like to do that last. Do you have any more? Or?
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, no, I do. I do. And we kind of...
Oh, I do have one more.
Okay. This might be an us problem and not so much a ship problem. We knew this when we booked the cabin.
Oh, so this isn't what I'm thinking.
This is an us problem. I like to either bring coffee back to my room or ice cream. Or sometimes coffee and ice cream. So, being that it was on the second deck... the ice cream and the coffee didn't make it to the cabin.
Well, they were already gone by the time we... If you get an ice cream at the Marketplace buffet, and you walk there, it was gone by the time you got to the cabin.
Yeah, because
But
it took a while to get there.
on the panorama, we were on the Lido deck, so you still had your ice cream when you made it to the cabin.
Yeah, and I know we could have ordered coffee as room service. I know that. So, but if you like to take food from the buffet to sit on your balcony, and even when we were on the panorama, I got Blue Iguana Cantina. Is that right? Blue Iguana?
Yeah.
Yeah. And had my burrito out there on the deck, which I really enjoyed sitting there. It's not as convenient if you're in a Cove balcony.
So I have two things. The one is the mattress.
Okay, this was odd.
This was weird. So I did not get a sore back sleeping on it, so that's good.
I slept fine.
I slept fine, but it felt like there was partially air mattress. We both laid in bed and we're like, is this an air mattress?
When you move, it feels like an air mattress. it feels
It was a comfortable air mattress, but I think it was like half air mattress. I don't know how to explain it.
I didn't love the sensation though.
No. The Panorama's mattress felt much
traditional.
better. And the Mardi Gras mattress felt
normal.
Okay, I will say this. It felt a lot nicer than the Carnival Splendor mattress.
Yes. Okay, but that was a few years ago.
That was a few years ago, and that was a much older ship.
Yes, and that was before their
refurbished it.
So we don't know what they have now. But
it's not the worst mattress we've had on a cruise ship.
No, but it was different.
Yeah.
It was definitely different.
It reminded me more of, we were at a Radisson hotel once, and the mattress, you could push a button and it would inflate it or deflate it. It felt closer to that than a regular mattress.
Yeah, somewhere between an air mattress though and a spring mattress.
But I did not have a sore back after, so that was good. That was good.
So we'll take the win.
So I don't know if that was a wish. It was just a different. But
Yes.
my wish is that the ship is definitely showing signs of wear.
Agreed.
So, especially in the cabin area.
Yeah. No, I don't want to steal your thunder though here.
No, that's okay. You can steal it.
So if I were to turn this into a positive wish rather than a complaint, I wish there was currently if you have a problem, you should contact customer service or your room steward and let them know right away. And that is what we did. They fixed all our little problems. But I wish there was a little form or something.
Or even in the app, you could tap on it and put in the problem.
Yeah, because sometimes I don't like to complain when I'm on a trip. And so little things can become big problems if they're not maintained. So I would just like to have clicked down this needs to be checked on, this needs to be checked on, and this needs to be checked on.
Because there's quite a few things. And, if you don't report them, then the next person's going to have the same problem the next week.
And you can start to feel frustrated when you go to use things and they're not working. Should we talk about the things that were...
Sure. And I know the ship is going to have some refurbishment going on.
Yes.
Within, I think, the next year or so or less. So I don't want to bash on this too much, and I know stuff wears out. So, but I will say the sink was cracked.
Yep.
The clothesline in the shower was broken, and it did get repaired.
And our room steward had it repaired immediately.
The shower wasn't draining, so they repaired that as well. So away.
I know this isn't a big deal, but how do you know that it doesn't become a bigger deal? If your sinks or your showers aren't draining, you need to tell
Well, I think
somebody.
it was more that the first day, all of a sudden, there was 4 or 5 things that were frustrating.
Yep.
The balcony door was broken, and they fixed that.
So it was the handle, the lock.
Was not latching, so the door would in the wind all night.
So there was a lock up high, a latch, and so that is what was keeping the door closed, which was fine until we hit rougher seas. And then all night, that door went bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
So then it wasn't so cool anymore.
No. So we were able, I think it was fixed on the 3rd day. The 2nd day, I put closed a towel in the door, and it stopped the banging. But it was just, I wish those things had been maybe noticed when it was cleaned and repaired.
But you know what? They wouldn't know what the door unless someone says something. So I just wish that there was a process where people could just, without feeling like they're complaining, jot down any maintenance that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, the room was lovely. I did enjoy the room.
I did too.
And I always hate saying the wishes, so.
You know what? Overall, it was a lovely room, and the Cove balcony was fun to try. I think I would go back up to the Lido as my favorite, but...
Mm-hmm. So, those are our thoughts on our stateroom on the Carnival Vista.
Ken, let's talk about the food that we enjoyed while on the Carnival Vista.
The food was great.
It was good. We enjoyed eating.
Yeah, no, there was some really good food on this cruise. Everything we ate was complimentary. So some of it was in different restaurants. We tried out quite a few restaurants, but everything we ate on the ship was complimentary, and I didn't feel like a lack of food options.
There were so many options that it was a challenge to try and work our way through and try as many things as possible. Because I'm like, well, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. So there's lots going on when it comes to choosing what you want to eat.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I'm going to start out with a that isn't actually about the food.
Okay.
But it kind of fits in here. They have really cool auto hand washing stations.
Oh, yeah.
In the Marketplace buffet. So you stick your hands in and these things spin and then dry your hands. And it's really handy. So it makes it really easy to wash your hands when you're heading into the buffet.
It was down by the barbecue, too.
There was a few of them.
It's actually really relaxing. You just put your hands in. It's like a little spa.
Did you fall asleep washing your hands?
It was my free spa.
So, but there was a lot of complimentary options. So,
especially for lunch. Let's talk lunch.
I have a whole bunch of those, so that's a good idea.
Lunch is where they really shine.
So I would say that as well. Lunch is where they really shine for sure. The Mongolian walk inside Gigi's, we did that actually on embarkation day. It was open and it was really quiet on embarkation day.
When we were on the Panorama, we couldn't get in on the final sea day.
Yeah, it was it was going to be like a long wait. So that was good. And out of all of them I had, the food was good, but that's the one I would personally skip.
Okay. But it's probably because that's less your style.
It's less my style, not that the food was bad.
You're so much more of a barbecue. So why don't you talk about the barbecue?
Well, so there's the Guy's Pig and Anchor barbecue joint. Is that what it's called? Barbecue or... So it's not the full restaurant. It's kind of like a buffet where they serve it for you. Pork butt. I always like saying that. They've got chicken. They've got...
there's lots of meat, potato salad, coleslaw,
bread, all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, it's really good. That's one of my favorites on Carnival. Blue Iguana Cantina, all the custom
burritos
and tacos, and then of course Guy's Burger. So those are both by the beach pool on deck 10, and those are excellent. I really enjoy the Ringer Burger, like a burger with an onion ring in it. But they have, I think, 5 or 6 different ones you can choose from.
There's pizza at the back.
Deck 10. I want to say Cucina. Pizzeria del Capitano. That's what it's called. Yeah, I do have the name. So they have... It's not open 24 hours a day anymore like it used to be. It's open late is what they call it. Or very late. Yeah. But it's always nice to grab that kind of late at night. Some pizza.
Good.
And Pasta Bella in Cucina del Capitano. So this one and... So Pasta Bella at lunchtime, it's complimentary in Cucina del Capitano. And it's kind of like Mongolian Wok is complimentary at lunchtime inside of Gigi's.
It's easy to miss them because they're on deck 11, where most of the complimentary food is on deck 10.
Is it deck 11? Yeah, it is. You're right. It's
right above the buffet.
That's right. Yeah. I enjoyed Pasta Bella more than
it was
Mongolian
good.
Wok. Yeah. So they give you a little piece of paper. You can order your pasta. I had actually lasagna, I believe. And you get your toppings. They have salads. It's good. Yeah, it's really good. So there's lots of different options. Of course, Swirl's ice cream. They've got the yogurt and
the deli.
The deli. So in the buffet, they have a little deli area where they make sandwiches for you. So lots of good options, especially for lunch.
My only wish that I'm going to just add in here is that it stayed open later. Because if you have a late breakfast and then you end up kind of thinking you're not hungry, they don't stay. Not all the places are open till 5. They have different closing times, but.
Well, I would say also, so there's the marketplace buffet. I would say because they have so many options for kind of specialty food that's free or complimentary, it does pull away from the buffet a little bit. So they don't have necessarily quite as many options as other cruise lines we've been on in the buffet.
That's true.
So.
But they did have tea time, not every day.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
I enjoy doing that, even though I'm usually so full.
Yeah. Other thoughts on kind of the lunch?
Oh, no, but
I don't have any complaints about lunch. No. Really.
Lunch is amazing.
Yeah.
They really shine. They do lunch right on Carnival.
Yeah. And I'm sure we've actually probably forgot some. There was just a lot of options.
And it's really easy to get to, like, because some of the stuff is by the pool. You don't have to dress up. Like, it's nice. It's fun, relaxed.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk. Do you want to talk about the main dining room for breakfast?
Yeah. And
sea day brunch. So we did most of the days, other than I think a couple of the shore or the days we were at port. We did either sea day brunch or breakfast. In the main dining room. We were in the Horizons. So I really enjoy that because they serve you there. They bring all the coffees, and they do have complimentary juice, even though they also sell juice. The complimentary juice is excellent. One of my favorites is the yogurt parfait.
Oh, that's really good. It is really good. It's quite busy in the main buffet area for breakfast. So if you want to be relaxed and sit down, I would recommend going to the main dining room.
Yeah.
And to be able to sit and you're not looking for a table, you're not having to carry your food back. It's a more relaxing experience if you have time.
Yeah. I also like they'll do the custom omelets there. They take a little bit longer, but they'll do those there. There's bacon, sausage, hash browns, all that kind of stuff you can get there. So lots of options. And on the sea day brunch, I can't remember what it was called. We had that kind of Mexican dish.
Oh, the Rancho de Haro.
Anyway,
it was good.
I'll put a picture of it up. It definitely was good. So there's definitely some really nice stuff at the breakfast and the sea day brunch in the MDR. Dinner?
Yeah, I'm gonna say one thing I do first off before we talk about the food with dinner. So we did where we could eat at different times. And so we need to make a reservation in the app. And since they've rolled out the app, you don't have to go stand in line.
No, you check in the app.
You check in the app. They tell you when your table's ready, and then you come down and they see you. So back before that, you'd start lining up.
Yeah.
And you'd stand there and wait.
Although it did malfunction.
Well, that's in my wish.
Oh, sorry. I'll zip that up.
We can talk about that now, though.
Sure.
The app is not perfect. So when you put in your reservation, I had to keep refreshing my app. Otherwise, I wouldn't get the notification that my table was ready. And then we also had one night where I don't want to say the whole system went down, but of course it was on a formal night.
And it wasn't alerting people that their table was ready.
They'd seated kind of like round one, but they weren't able to call the second seating.
And we just snuck in right before, 15 minutes before closing, because we actually went and asked them, are we going to make it for dinner? And then they're like, oh, you can come in right away. And it was
a problem with the app. So it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But overall, I do like the app, and I do like being able to. Ken does not like this.
Oh, this is one of my wishes too. I know what you're going to say.
No. This is something I like.
This is one of my wishes.
This is one I like and you don't like. I like to look at the menu ahead of time.
I want a paper menu when I get a regular menu, an old-fashioned menu. I do not like, I will adamantly say this, I do not like having to pull my phone out, scan the little barcode, and read my menu on the phone.
You don't like...
And I love technology.
But you don't like looking at, like, when you get up in the morning, what's going to be for dinner? Because that's what I do.
Whatever. I don't mind seeing it ahead of time.
You told me you didn't want to know.
Well,
you're like, I don't want to know. That takes away from the experience.
I do like the surprise.
Yeah.
But I really want the old school menu. I don't like the app. I don't like that it's assumed that you want the app and that you have to ask for the menu. I just want the menu there. I guess I'm old fashioned that way.
I've adapted. At first, I disliked it heavily, but now I'm a pro at the app.
Okay, well, you know what? The app actually, if we're going to get into the app, the app actually drained my phone's battery very heavily.
But mine wasn't. And he has the better phone, so I don't know what happened.
I don't know what was going on there. I could see that it was draining my battery extremely quickly. Usually when I go to bed at night, I have half my battery left. It was like pulling it like crazy throughout the day. So I don't know what was going on there. Anyway, that's besides the point. The food was awesome.
It was good. It was good.
The MDR food is my favorite on the ship.
It's good. Really good. Go ahead. I feel like you got something to say.
Well, I just love all the cool stuff you get to try that we would never have at home. Calamari, escargot, wild boar, all that stuff. Leg of lamb. There's just really cool stuff that you get to try.
So my thing that I had as my likes is that they have the section called the rare finds?
Rare finds, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and you listed like half of them there.
Yeah.
And so these are not things that I would normally try, and so I really appreciate it because it's actually...
Frog's legs.
It's fun. When else do you get to tell people I ate frog's legs?
Yeah.
Please.
So,
yeah.
And you know what? You're not going to like everything.
No.
But there's some really good stuff. And if you don't like something, ask for something else because they'll cater to you.
And the staff in there are amazing in the main dining room. So the whole thing is just, amazing food, amazing staff.
Yeah.
It's a great dinner.
Yeah. Shout out to Monzi. She was awesome.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And Dana, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But some of the main food, lobster, filet mignon, prime rib, braised beef brisket. There were so many good things. Southern fried chicken. I'm just naming some of the ones I had. I know you had a lot of fish.
I did. That's a whole nother story.
But and then even for desserts, you had the chocolate panna cotta that you raved about.
Oh my goodness. That was my favorite dessert of the whole week. More than the Carnival melting cake. Am I allowed to say that?
You're allowed to say that.
Yeah, yes. I know everybody else loves that, but
I really enjoyed. There was several I enjoyed. One that sticks out to me was the key lime mousse.
I didn't really have that one, but I know you loved it.
Yeah. So there is definitely a lot to like about the MDR as well. So I don't know. There's always going to be times where something isn't your thing, but there's just really nice.
Bring you more. If you don't like it, you're never going to go hungry on a cruise.
Mm-hmm. I do have a couple little wishes, though.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any wishes?
Mine were just basically app-based.
Just the ones we...
Yeah.
So I already talked about the paper menu thing.
Mm-hmm.
The marketplace buffet gets extremely busy.
Yes, it does.
And so because it's not an island-based buffet
yes,
with multiple islands, they made you kind of had to line up in one line at the end to get through. And at one point we went there... And I'm sure we waited 20 minutes just to get through the small little line because they'd closed down several of the sections. This was later at night.
Was this like 9:30 at night?
Probably 15 minutes before they closed. I don't remember what time. But it was a good 15, 20 minutes. We waited in line just to get a couple little snacks.
And you have to go past the salad bar before you can get to the food you actually want.
And, well, it's true. And because it is an island base where you kind of just cut in wherever, it's one big long line, kind of. People give you the dirty look if you just wanted to jump in and grab something. So
we didn't try that.
We didn't try, but I saw some people
clear,
getting the dirty look.
We did not try. We'll make that clear.
So that's one thing. Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of a drawback to me, and that it was really busy. But I did like one thing I wanted to mention. I do like the tables in the marketplace buffet. They've got the high tables, like the high top tables. I really like sitting in those.
I do too.
Yeah. And The other thing I did want to mention, and these are all small things, but the down on the lower decks, so kind of like the area where the casino is and the atrium, and there isn't much for really or any complimentary food or beverages down there.
And you know,
there's the Pig and Anchor outside that's open on sea days or embarkation day at lunch, but if you want even just some water or something, it was really hard to come by.
And there's hints that you can tell they used to have food in different areas. There's the coffee shop down there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's not very many.
Yeah,
options.
and there was the where they played.
But there wasn't complimentary beverages there.
Yeah, but I was gonna say where they used to do the trivia.
Yeah.
I was told that in the past they used to have like complimentary small finger foods back in there.
Yeah,
and it's not there.
We didn't see that. I could see where that was.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
So there wasn't really. So it was always, especially being on deck
up.
2, you had to go all the way up to the deck 10. So little bit of a trek.
Yeah.
But other than that, the food was really good, and I especially enjoyed the MDR food on the ship. So, any other final thoughts?
I enjoyed all the food.
All right. Well, there's our thoughts for you on the food and restaurants on the Carnival Vista. So let's chat about the entertainment and activities on the Carnival Vista. I'm going to let you take this away, Andrea.
Well, I really love all the activities they have planned on the Carnival Vista.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we call them activities, but they're the high ropes.
Oh, kind of, yeah, that kind of activities.
Yeah, they're like
the things you can just go do.
The
I don't
structures.
know. Yeah, the structures. Play.
Yeah, so there's high ropes. There's the sky ride, which is like a bicycle on a track, like a bike crossed with a roller coaster way up high over the ocean.
I enjoy that. That was fun.
Yeah. They have mini golf. There's
the
beanbag toss.
There's ping pong, I believe. There is some foosball tables around the ship.
And a lot of that is all in one area, which is super convenient and fun.
The basketball courts.
The workout equipment outside.
So there's a lot of that stuff. I have all that on here as well. Cornhole. Fun stuff.
It's really like a fun for all ages out there. Like it's a really fun things to do. I really enjoy the high ropes.
Yeah.
Little scary, but I enjoyed it.
That's one of my favorite things to do on Carnival ships is the high ropes.
It made my heart beat, made me a little sweaty, a little nervous, wondering what I had gotten myself into, but it was fun.
Yeah. We didn't use this time. I usually try to go down the water slides, but the Carnival water works.
There was a lot of water.
It's great for the kids and even the adults for especially the water slides. But they've got the kids water park area, and then kind of above that is I think there's I want to say 3 water slides. But
at least 2.
Yeah, I think there are 2 or 3 water slides. So it's a really cool and large area on the ship. So that's really neat and high quality. It's not chintzy, like it's kids are excited to go there. So and they've got some really cool stuff as well for the kids. So like a decent size arcade on the ship. Not complimentary, but it is there. And it
is with your room key though.
Well, no, it's not. Yeah, just some really fun stuff on the ship.
Okay, an IMAX theater at sea with a really good theater, like real theater seats at reasonable prices. Yeah. I was really surprised.
Yeah, so I think we saw one show in there. We saw kind of the IMAX type show, so it wasn't a movie. I want to say it was $8 or $9, which I thought was reasonable for that. I think it was 45 minutes long, narrated by I think Robert Redford or something like that.
It was a beautiful theater though.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah. So was it Robert Redford?
I don't know.
Anyway, it was really good, and the kind of more the movies like box office type movies were a fair bit more. I think I want to say $16 or $18. But I had very low expectations of the theater. We weren't actually gonna go there until our day in Mahogany Bay was canceled. So then we decided to go to the IMAX instead. and I was blown away. It was huge. It was huge on
It
the
was
ship.
really nice.
And it was just really nice. And it was 3D. It was awesome. So I thought that was well worth it.
It was fun. It was a fun, sometimes plans change, and
Yeah.
it was a fun alternative thing.
I really like the movies under the stars. They do that on the main deck there, watching movies. Yeah, just the walking track. I don't know if we mentioned that. But really nice up there as well by the kind of around by the mini golf.
What about the dancing lessons?
You know what? I have this on here.
But did you dance?
No, I have this on here as line dancing on here.
Oh, okay.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You really enjoyed your line dancing lessons. She enjoys that kind of stuff more than I do. But they did have some really fun parties as well.
Carnival has the best parties I have seen at sea. They do the best sail away parties.
Yeah.
I have never seen a Lido deck so packed out with people. Carnival in general.
Yeah.
So you can expect that on the Vista.
Yes. Some fun parties in there. I can't name them. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but the 80s Rock and Glow party. They had the Silent Night party where you wear the headphones, and so it's dead quiet, but you're listening to the music and dancing. There was a whole bunch of them.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And sail away is always big.
Sail Away is huge. The Sail Away party. Yeah. We try not to miss that. Other stuff?
A fun event that they held in their liquid lounge, so their theater type room, is Deal or No Deal, the game show, and that's fun to watch. We didn't participate in buying the cards where we could win, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, so you can just go in and watch, or you can participate, and you could be the lucky one that ends up on stage. So if you buy the card and you get picked, so you can win some.
Or you can play along. Even
Yeah.
the whole audience who had the tickets could play along.
One thing I want to say, the comedy on the ship was really good.
It was good. That's going to change week to week, though,
that will.
but it was good.
I would say it was better than other ships we've been on.
It was good. Yeah.
And I do want to. There's so much we could talk about. There's so much entertainment. Playlist Productions. There were some really good shows in the Liquid Lounge. A couple of note that I liked. Amor Cubano.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was Studio VIP, and that was like a 70s in New York theme. And America Rocks, kind of rock music. So there, Playlist Productions, there were some really good ones. And I think every night had some sort of show, whether it was Deal or No Deal or like a show going on.
One night was the Vista House Band, which was phenomenal. So,
Yeah, I think it's the Vista Rock Band. And they did,
Yeah.
I have this written down, it's called One Night Only.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they played throughout the week in different venues, and they were really good. And so that was fun to listen to.
Yeah, and they did a lot of like classic rock, and the vocals were really good in that. That was really good. So lots of shows and entertainment throughout the week. Excellent. I didn't feel bored.
No.
Like
There's so much to do. And,
yeah,
I look at the fun times, and you really have to just prioritize what's really important that you really want to see and do, because it's not possible to make it to everything.
yeah,
And even, okay, this is small, but I entered a draw, and there was something else going on at the same time, so I couldn't go find out if I won or not.
no,
Because to me, it was more important to join in on the activity than to wait for the draw. So you just can't fit
Can't
it all
do
in.
everything.
So you just have to be okay with knowing there's so much to do, you can't do it all, and so pick what's important and do those things.
I do have a couple of small wishes though.
Okay.
One is the venue that they do the comedy in isn't big enough.
That's true.
There's just too many people that want to get in there. So I think if there was a way to have a bigger venue for that, it maybe doesn't work. Which is fine. It is what it is. But the other one, and I'm surprised you didn't say this, but you know what? It might have fallen under kind of a food and beverage item as well, is when we went to the IMAX theater and we ordered beverages, you didn't get a lid.
Yes. And you know what? I hate to complain about this because I understand they're trying to reduce plastic, but
They didn't have lids.
they don't
They
have
don't
it. So
they don't offer them.
You're given just a cup open,
Full almost to the top.
full, and you're having to walk upstairs
Yeah.
in potentially rougher seas without a lid, and I'm not always the most coordinated. So
And the lights are on, but it's still kind of a theater on the darker side, and it's
I did feel like very aware that I was holding a very full cup walking around, and I wanted to make sure I didn't spill on anybody.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So because it wasn't like a glass cup, it was a paper cup.
yeah, well, so you could just
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if it would have been glass, it would have been better. But being like a paper cup.
yeah. So it's small, but it made me just kind of add that little bit of stress, especially like if you were. Can you imagine you've taken all your kids on a cruise and they're all running around with a pop with no lid? I would have been really stressed out. So it was bad enough just handling my own drinks.
So other than that, I don't really have any big wishes. It was just awesome on there, and I really enjoyed the entertainment and activities on the Carnival Vista.
It was a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed our likes and wishes on the Carnival Vista.
Yeah, we had an amazing time, and I hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you out if you're sailing on the Vista. If you did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also remember to connect with us on social media and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a wonderful week and happy sailing.